Welcome back to the video, and in today's video, we are going to be ranking every single NFL quarterback going into next season. Now, this is not how they are right now. This is going into the next NFL season, so how I think they're going to progress over the offseason, how I think they're going to be next year. At the bottom right, we do have some quarterbacks that aren't technically starters that I will not be ranking, going from Sam Darnold onwards, because they're not technically starters going into the 2023-2024 season. But they're on this list, so I'm just going to put them there. These are most of the stars based on this. We got the tiers S, A, B, C, D, and F. S being the best, F being the worst. You know the deal. Again, guys, thank you guys for all just the amazing the amazing sub growth and everyone really liking the videos, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, we went from 385 subscribers to 444 subscribers in about 3 days, which is a 60 subscriber jump, which is actually insane. I'm so glad you guys are liking the shorts. I'm so glad you guys are liking the videos. Videos are going over for 100 views. Let's see if we can get this one also on that range. And remember, you can go back and let's get straight into the video. But like the video and subscribe if you like the content, because we're trying to reach 500 by the end of the month. So if you're new and you like the content, please just show to subscribe. The first quarterback we're going to be ranking is Aaron Rodgers. I'm putting Aaron Rodgers in B tier. Actually, realistically, he's still A tier. He's still A tier because he still is a good quarterback, and I should give him credit because he's been MVP multiple times. We know what he has, even though he is starting to get a little worse. That's why I'm not putting him in S anymore. I mean, like 2 years ago, I'll put him in S because he was the best quarterback, but now realistically, he's just getting a little older. He's not as good anymore, but he's still definitely an all-star quarterback in my opinion. So he's not S, but people are saying he's B or C because he had a bad last year. He had no weapons last year. He had no chance to do anything that good. I'm putting him in A tier. Next we have Baker. I'm gonna put Baker in. Honestly, I'm putting Baker in F. Until Baker can show me that he can actually throw the football and can actually make some good decisions, high IQ plays, then he's just gonna stay in F, because although he still has a starting job and teams definitely still have faith in him. I mean, the Bucks are giving him a chance, for God's sake. But as a player, he isn't that good. He just isn't. His time management's terrible. He doesn't know how to throw a ball. He makes some really brain dead decisions. I think it's an easy F tier. Next will be Carson Wentz. I'm gonna put Carson Wentz in D tier. He's a little better, I guess, than Baker Mayfield, but he's nothing special. He'll have some games where he has a really good game, and he'll have other games where he'll make some interceptions that makes you question how good he actually is because of how bad those interceptions are. He's nothing special. He's not that good, but I will say he is better than Baker, and I'll put him in D tier, even though I think he might lose his starting job this year. Next up, we have Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott's going to go in B tier. You know, he definitely did struggle a little bit last year. I think he definitely took a big step down, threw a lot of interceptions, just didn't look like himself. But I still think he is a really good quarterback, and I think people should be rating him this highly. I just don't see him doing as bad as he did last year again this year. I think he'll take another step up. But, I mean, going into next year, I think he improves a little bit, but I think he's still B tier because this year was terrible. Next up, we have Daniel Jones. I'm going to be risky here. I'm putting Daniel Jones in A. And we're talking about this for next year. I'm being risky because I really think that he's got the potential. We saw what he could do with absolutely no weapons, carrying the Giants to the playoffs, and really, I mean, not carrying, because Brian Daboll was the main reason why, but Daniel Jones was a big part, especially having no weapons. He actually had a really, really good year, and now he's going to get weapons. He got Paris Campbell. I could see them getting OBJ. I see them getting another big wide receiver, and they got Darren Waller. They got some more threats now. I think Daniel Jones is going to target them, and going into next year, I think Daniel Jones is going to have a massive year. Next would be Davis Mills, F. I mean, honestly, it was kind of it's crazy to me that like I actually had faith in him in the 2021 season when it was ending, and now last year he was so incredibly bad. Like the end of the year when he was playing, he actually looked decent, and then going into next year he looked awful. And I don't see that. I see him losing his job. Texans are probably gonna take a quarterback, so F tier for me, and that's pretty easy. Next up, we have Derek Carr. I mean, Saints. I'm actually gonna put him in B tier because I think he'll have a better year than he did last year because he is with a new organization. I think the Saints will treat him better. You know, you have a lot of weapons around him like Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas if he decides to stay. So I think Derek Carr will have a better year than last year, and I think the slander on Derek Carr should be not taken into consideration. I'm putting him in B tier. Next will be Deshaun Watson. I'm going to put Deshaun Watson in C tier. If he wants to unlock his potential, he can be great and he can unlock it. But right now, we saw last year, he was dreadful. And while I do think he'll have an improvement, that's why I'm going to put him in C tier, it's not enough of an improvement to put him in B, A, or S. He's just not that good of a quarterback anymore. And I think he just lost it after, he did his whole I don't really want to talk about it, but his whole, bad things. Yeah, I'm putting him in C tier for now. Next we have Jalen Hurts, S tier. I think Hurts is really starting to perform into that top five quarterback level. Might even be there already. I don't really know, but I think Jalen Hurts, an S tier quarterback easily for me. One of the few quarterbacks in the league that if the throwing does not work, he can go on his legs. Super. He's a multi-threat guy. And I honestly expect even a better year than he did this year, next year. I think the weapons around him, everything like that. I think the Eagles are going to have a big year, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a big part of that. Next we have the Lions. I'm going to put Jared Goff in A tier. Again, going into next year, I know you guys will be like, oh my God, you're putting Jared Goff ahead of Dak Prescott and Derek Carr. Yes, look at Jared Goff this year, and honestly, look at the Lions offseason. They had an amazing offseason. They got their defense better. I think the reason why maybe Jared Goff why I think that the Lions lost so many games last year, even though they had a better year, was because their defense. They upgraded their defense. The Lions' offense is still amazing. And you have Jared Goff, a quarterback, which is actually, in my opinion, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. Bro, he had an amazing year. I see it continuing. And I told you, I think the Lions win the division. And I have no problem saying that. The Lions, I think, are going to win the division this year. And I think Jared Goff's going to be a big part of that. I'm putting him in A tier. Next up, we have Jimmy G. Okay, so this is Jimmy G and Trey Lance. I'm just going to do both of them because I mean, you can do both. And because we don't know who the actual starter is, I'm just going to put them in the same category. So Jimmy G, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, all of them are going to go together in B tier. And because I'm an Niners fan, but I'm not going to jump the gun on them. I think Trey Lance has potential. I think even if you're talking about Brock Purdy, he had an amazing year last year. I think Jimmy G's a solid. Actually, Jimmy G's on the Raiders. What am I talking about? Okay, so I'm gonna put in the Niners quarterbacks. I'm still gonna put Jimmy G in B because I think he's a solid quarterback and I think he's better than Deshaun Watson. So yeah, and I'm actually gonna put then Trey Lance in C because although Trey Lance slash Brock Purdy is good, they're too young and we haven't seen them fully develop. And we haven't seen them. Um, we haven't seen Trey Lance really per- perform as a top quarterback in the league, and not even close to that. So when you see Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, whoever the star is gonna be, make sure that they keep playing at that good level like Brock Purdy was playing at to move him any higher. But right now I'm gonna put the Niners quarterbacks in C. And Jimmy G at B because he's always consistent. He'll always give you wins. And I think he's a very solid quarterback. Next, we have Joe Burrow, S tier. I have no problem putting Joe Burrow in S tier. In my opinion, he's right now, honestly, I'm not even going to lie, he's number two for me. I go Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. I think Burrow had a better year than Allen. I think Burrow will have a better year this next year than Allen as well. Joe Burrow, the weapons that he has around is no. That's not just because he's got weapons that means he's good. If you actually look at him, the accuracy, the throwing power, the ability to run even if he needs to, amazing, really high IQ, can get out of situations fast, and I think he's an incredible quarterback. And going to Josh Allen, I'm putting Josh Allen in S because they are very, very similar. They're quite close together. I just think Joe Burrow gives you a little more overall than Josh Allen. But Josh Allen can do it on his legs, can do it in the air, has some of the best throw power in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think the Bills, well, they might take a little bit of a step down from last year. I still think they're going to have a really good year. Next to be Justin Fields. I'm putting Justin Fields in A tier. I don't really. I'll take the heat. It's next year, bro. I think the Bears are going to have a really good team next year. And now he's got more targets like DJ Moore to get through, and they're probably going to get someone else in the draft that can even help him out even more. And honestly, I think the moves that they made in the offseason was really, really smart. I think Justin Fields not only can do it on his legs, but I think he'll become a more evolved passer and be better for going into next year. Next up, we have Herbie. I'm putting Justin Herbert in A tier. I need to see him. He had a bit of a down year this year, and I don't know how he's going to do next year quite. So that's why I'm going to put him in A tier instead of S. Well, I do think he has the potential to be an S. Right now, at this very very moment, I'm putting him in A tier because we need to see it, and we didn't quite see it last year, but he does have the potential. He's an incredible quarterback. I mean, when he got drafted after the first two games, I was like Justin Herbert's better than Joe Burrow, but realistically, Joe Burrow is better. But I think Justin Herbert's still a very good quarterback. Next up, we have Kenny Pickett. I'm putting Kenny Pickett in C tier. Again, last year he had a terrible year, but you can't just look at his first year and be bad. I think he's got the potential. I think he's got like that Trevor Lawrence possible second year kind of thing to go on. I think he is a very, very solid quarterback. even if people don't think he is. I think he just had to get his freshman jitters out of the way, and now he's on to his sophomore year, and I think he's going to do a lot better. And I see him having a little more potential and having a much better year than last year, and that's why he's going to go in C tier for now. Next, we have Kirk Cousins. I'm going to put Kirk Cousins in B tier. He's always consistent, but the thing is he's getting a little bit older. He's starting to age just like Aaron Rodgers, but I'm still going to put him in B tier because I do think he's a solid quarterback, kind of similar to like a Jimmy G or Derek Carr or like one of those ones where it's a veteran quarterback that can win you games, and Kirk will make some big bad decisions, but he'll also make a lot of right decisions and more right than wrong. So I'm putting Kirk in B tier. Next we have Kyler Murray. I'm putting Kyler in B tier, but I don't feel confident about it. I mean, I could see the Cardinals coming up pretty. Actually, I'm putting Kyler Murray in C tier. I think the Cardinals are going to be one of the worst teams in the league next year, and if that is the case, and based on Kyler complaining, he's just not going to have as good of a year. Does he have the potential to be A, maybe even S? Yes, but right now, at this very, very moment, and going into next year, I'm putting him in C because the Cardinals absolutely suck, and I don't see them doing any better than they did last year. Next up, we have Lamar Jackson. I'm putting Lamar Jackson in A tier. No matter what, the Ravens are always going to be in the playoffs, and although the Ravens didn't make a lot of offseason moves, which I think definitely put their value down, I still think Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback in the league easily. Again, kind of similar to like a Justin Fields, can run, can throw, and he can throw better than Justin Fields. I'm just putting the potential of Justin Fields a little higher than Lamar Jackson, but I think Lamar Jackson's still a great quarterback, and I think he still deserves A. Next up, we have Mac Jones. I think it's C tier. People saying that Mac Jones is bad is absolutely wrong. I think he's just a decent quarterback. He's nothing special. But right now, at this very, very moment, I'm putting him in C tier. Quite an average quarterback. Everyone kind of jumped the gun on him after his first year. And this year, kind of came back down to earth. But he's not that bad of a quarterback. And anyone who says that is just totally wrong. Next up, we have Desmond Ridder. I'm going to put Desmond Ridder in D tier. No, I don't think he has as much potential as Kenny Pickett. Obviously, Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick, so obviously I think he has a little more potential with Kenny Pickett. But I think Desmond Ridder still isn't too bad of a quarterback. I do like his potential that he brings. I think he's got a decent arm. And although he did show some signs of positivity, right now at this very, very moment going into next year, I'm putting him in D tier. Next up, we have Matt Ryan. I'm putting Matt Ryan in F tier. He's lost all of it. I'm sorry. Maybe he goes to the Falcons or something like that. That's one last final ride with the Falcons, but currently, technically, he's still a starter with the Colts because the Colts don't really have a for sure starter. I guess I have Gardner Minshew, but Gardner Minshew is on this list, so I'm just gonna take it as Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan is just F tier. I'm sorry. He had a really really bad year last year, and it seems like the age is finally getting to him, and it seems like it's kind of a click in his mind that he's got to retire soon. Next time we have Stafford, and I'm gonna say B tier. I think Stafford has a really good bounce back year. While I don't think he's as good as he used to be, like A or S, I still think he's a top 15 quarterback in the league consensually, and I think that that's a pretty easily rank for him. And I think he still is a good quarterback. I just think that he's gonna have a big bounce back year and prove a lot of the haters wrong. Next up, we have Patrick Mahomes. Ooh. I don't know why I said ooh. It's S tier, baby. Best quarterback in the league, best player in the league, most amount of talent in the league. It's simple as that. Let's move on. There's not a lot to talk about. And I think the Chiefs are going to be no, probably my Super Bowl contender going into next year as well. Next up, we have Russell Wilson. I'm putting Russell Wilson in B tier. Well, I do think he has the potential to definitely go in A because I think a lot of people just look at his first season as his fault, but it's really the coaching staff's fault and Nathaniel Hackett. And this year he's gonna have a really good bounce back year. But I'm not gonna jump the gun on him too much. I'm gonna put him in B tier. Maybe I'll do a ranking again like mid season to actually like see the improvements out of these quarterbacks and maybe I'll react to this list and see what I got wrong or right on this list in my opinion. But yeah, it's B tier for me in my opinion. Next up we have the Titans and Ryan Tannehill. At this point, Ryan Tannehill's a D tier. I'm sorry. He's still a C tier. I don't know why I'm saying D tier. He's still a C tier. He's just not as good anymore. He again similar to like a Matt Ryan. He's just getting older with age. He's starting to age less and more. I do think he's not still a terrible quarterback. I think the Titans are going to be that bad this year that I think I'm going to put him in C tier. Next up, we have Tom Brady. He's retired. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, he's retired. Next up, we have Trevor Lawrence. I'm putting Trevor Lawrence in S tier. I have so much faith in this guy, especially after last year. I mean, I legitimately think that is my top 5 list right there for quarterbacks right now, and I don't think you could really change my mind. If I had to rank them right now, I'm putting Mahomes at 1, Burrow at 2, Allen at 3, Hurts at 4, and then I'm putting at 5 Trevor Lawrence. I think that's how much confidence I have in Trevor Lawrence. Amazing sophomore year with the Jaguars, and I honestly see with how bad of a division that division is, the Jaguars are going to make it really, really far in the playoffs this year. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have an MVP type season this year. Really good quarterback. Next up, we have Tua. I'm putting Tua in B tier. I'm not going to jump the gun on him. Well, I do think he has a really good arm. I do think his accuracy. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that he might not even be a Miami Dolphin next year. So we don't really know what direction we're going to go on. So I'm not going to put him in A or S tier. But I think he is still a solid quarterback, and he gives you that accuracy, he gives you that throw power, and he can even run the ball. But he's also really injury prone. So I'm going to take that into consideration as well. Next up, we have Zach Wilson. F. I mean, there's no reason why he should be in the league anymore. You saw, I mean, it's kind of like a Sam Darnold type situation. He's just not good anymore. I'm sorry, he's just not. We gave him a couple chances. Just the Jets need to get rid of him. Well, I do think he still has maybe a tiny bit of potential, just like Sam Darnold. You never know; he could go off for one game. I just think overall he's just not a good quarterback, and I don't know why the Jets picked him that early in the draft. I'm putting him in F tier. Next up, we have Trevor Heineke. I'm putting Trevor Heineke in C tier. He might be the starting quarterback for the Falcons. I don't know if it's him or Ritter, but I'm actually going to say Heineke's going to be in C tier because I think this Heineke's got a little more potential than Desmond Ritter right now, and I think Heineke's probably the better chance at him starting. Maybe I don't really know who's going to start, but even if Heineke's a backup, I think he still is a better quarterback than Desmond Ritter, and I honestly think he deserves to be in C tier. He's not a bad quarterback at all. I think Washington really messed up his career, in my opinion. Next up, we have Andy Dalton. I'm going to put Andy Dalton in C tier. Kind of an average quarterback. He's a guy that's like either a high backup or a low starter, and that's about it. It's average. Nothing special to talk about him. Next up, we have Geno Smith. I'm putting Geno Smith in B tier. Again, don't jump the gun on this guy. Although I think he's a really good quarterback, you can't jump the gun on him that he's an insane quarterback by any means. I'm putting him in B tier. He had a really good year last year, but we need to see him have it a couple more times before I can put him any higher. And the last quarterback that we are actually going to be ranking today is the Sam Darnold. Actually, no, Sam Darnold's not even a starter anymore. So that's the end of my tier list. I hope you guys all enjoy this tier list. If you guys like the tier list, comment down below saying you like it, and also leave a like on the video because that shows me that you enjoy the tier list. I hope you guys all enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!